All right, thanks, guys. Happy, Sunday morning to you. We improved to 6-2 yesterday. My last 8 daily best play tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. And of course, that's a site that I operate that gives you premium daily sports picks beginning at just $1.99 through the end of the month. We're also 4-2 straight up in our last 6 extra daily pick tier package plays on that website as well. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. But before we go ahead and move on, let's go ahead and take a look at some international Setka Cup table tennis action. And we're going to start with Vlad Litvinov squaring off against Viktor Vakrushev in a 1:35 p.m. Eastern showdown. Vakrushev is coming off a 3-0 shutout loss to Kakamidi, along with losing 6 out of his last 7 straight matches. He lost to the likes of Gavrilov, Peluzmiak, and Oransky. And of course, the majority of those losses coming in the Ukraine Win Cup. Meanwhile, on the other side, Vlad Litvinov is right in the middle of a 2-match win streak where he shut out both Ichenko and Parachenko during that span. Vlad's also been victorious in 4 out of his last 5, including another shutout victory against Maxime during that span. Matter of fact, 3 out of Litvinov's last 4 victories all came by way of shutout. It looks like a pretty good spot for Vlad here. Give me Vlad Litvinov winning this one outright for some moneyline cash. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick time out and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personalines out for Sunday's International Setka Cup table tennis action. Happy Sunday to you. Hopefully you're having a good weekend. Now, before we go ahead and move on with the program, I just want to quickly remind you once again to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where once again we improved to 6-2 straight up in our last 8 daily best play tier package picks on that website yesterday. We're also 4-2 straight up in our last 6 extra daily pick tier package plays as well. Very good package for us right now. We do daily premium sports picks beginning on that website at just $1.99 through the end of the month. We also have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. Guys, if you want to sign up, you are not alone. Currently, we have well over 675 members signed up and active on that page right now. Now, you might be wondering, why would all those folks sign up to receive Patreon picks where they can get them right here on YouTube for free? And that's certainly a great point, a great concern. But there is a big problem with me handicapping every single game that's on the board, side and total. And the problem with that is this. If you were going to go ahead and bet every single game on the board that I put out here on YouTube, side and total, you're almost guaranteeing yourself failure. And I know that sounds crazy, but you got to hear me out here. If you're going to go ahead and bet every single game that's on the slate with your hard-earned money, it's certainly not a winning formula for success. And as a matter of fact, it's a recipe for disaster. The books are way too smart. They're way too sharp. They certainly have a whole lot more money than you and I do combined to be able to absorb that kind of action. Most importantly, guys, the math becomes aggressively against you the more and more games you play like that. So what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you. I break it down and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're high percentage picks, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, my current Patreon record is a whole lot better than it is here on YouTube, handicapping every single game that's on the board, side and total. And the good news is this. If you want to go ahead and check out my current Patreon record, you can actually do that for free right now. It's located right on the homepage. All you have to do is click the link in the description section below. I will also include a link in the comment section below as well. Once again, that website is patreon.com/BrockPage. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive back into some more free lines and personalines right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Anatoly Levshin squaring off against Mike Mosiuk in a 2 p.m. Eastern showdown. Now, Mosiuk is red hot right now, coming off 5 straight victories, including a 3-0 shutout at the expense of Voronikov. Mike's also beaten the likes of Nick Kornienko, Alexei Vashkin, and Peter Kilyakin during that 5-match win streak. He's taking on a Levshin opponent who currently dropped his last 2 straight, including an embarrassing 3-1 defeat to Nick Kornienko during that span. Matter of fact, his other loss during that 2-game skid came against Kornienko as well, 3-2. Now, Anatoly's been victorious in just 2 out of his last 8, including a humiliating 3-0 shutout loss at the hands of Voronikov during that stretch. Looks like a pretty bad spot for Levshin backers here. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Mike Mosiu getting the job done in convincing fashion. All right, next contest, it is going to be Oleg Obrskov squaring off against Igor Oransky in a 2:05 Eastern start time. Oransky's been on fire lately, winning his last 8 straight matches, including a 3-0 shutout victory over Yevgeny during that span. He's also beaten the likes of Vakrushev, Gorilov, and Obrskov during that span of victories. Meanwhile, on the other side, Obraskov's coming off a humiliating 3-0 shutout loss to Marchuk, along with losing 6 out of his last 7 matches, where he was shut out 3 different times during that span. Obrskov lost to the likes of Oransky, Gorilov, and Vakrushev during that stretch. Looks like a pretty bad spot here for Oleg. Give me Igor Oransky getting the job done for some moneyline cash. All right, next contest, it is going to be Vadim Bokoski taking on Alex Ivashkin in a 2:30 p.m. start time. Ivashkin has been ice cold as of late, losing his last 4 straight while also being shut out 3-0 in his last 2. He was shut out by Peter Kilyakin and Voronikov in his last 2 matches, while also suffering a devastating 3-2 nail-biter to Mike Mosiuk during that stretch. Alex has been victorious in just 3 out of his last 8 contests. Now Bokoski, on the other side, he's been victorious in 3 out of his last 4, including victories over the likes of Voronikov, Kilyakin, and Levshin during those wins. He's also been victorious in 5 out of his last 7, throwing out his most recent outing with Peter Kilyakin. Looks like a fairly decent spot for Bokoski backers, although I think this matchup might end up a whole lot closer than people think. But with all that said and done, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Vad Bokoski, winning that one straight up in a slugfest. All right, next contest, it is going to be Blackarif Maxim facing off against Vlad Litvinov in a 2:35 p.m. contest. Vlad Litvinov is right in the middle of a 2-match win streak where he shut out both Ichenko and Parachenko during that span. Vlad's also been victorious in 4 out of his last 5, including another shutout victory against Maxim during that span. Matter of fact, 3 out of Litvinov's last 4 victories all came by way of shutout. Now Maxim, on the other side, he's dropped 2 out of his last 4 himself, including an embarrassing 3-1 defeat at the hands of Kosarev in the Ukraine Win Cup. Maxim's also dropped 4 out of his last 7, including a humiliating 3-0 shutout loss to Kakamidi during that span as well. Doesn't look like too appetizing of a spot for Blackarif here. Give me Vlad Litvinov getting the job done for some moneyline cash. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Max Marchuk squaring off against Igor Oransky in a 3:05 p.m. showdown. Now, this is arguably the best matchup on paper in the world of table tennis today. Oransky's been on fire lately, winning his last 8 straight matches, including a 3-0 shutout victory over Yevgeny during that span. He's also beaten the likes of Vakrushev, Gorilov, and Obrskov during that span of victories. Meanwhile, Marchuk, on the other side, he's been playing at a fairly high level himself. That said, though, he suffered a pair of devastating 3-2 losses to the likes of Ichenko and Kakamidi within his last handful of outings. This is going to be a real tough test for Max here. I got to give the slight edge to Oransky, however. So with all that said and done, this is going to be a great contest. Keep your eyes peeled on it. Give me Igor Oransky getting the job done in a hard-fought battle. All right, next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Viktor Vakrushev taking on Oleg Obrskov in a 3:25 p.m. start time. Obraskov's coming off a humiliating 3-0 shutout loss to Marchuk, along with losing 6 out of his last 7 matches, where he was shut out 3 different times during that span. Oberskov lost to the likes of Oransky, Gorilov, and Vakrashev during that stretch. And speaking of Vakrashev, he's beaten the likes of Peluzmiak and Marchuk within his last handful of outings. Matter of fact, he embarrassed Marchuk in that contest, 3-0. Should be a highly competitive matchup here. Both men not playing at an exceedingly high level, so this should end up being a pretty good matchup here. But with all that said and done, give me Viktor Vakrashev getting the job done in a close one. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some shout-outs. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. Shout out to Brandon Saunders, Chemo136. Shout out to my good friend Jeremy Wesley, Shrestha Gupta, Joseph Moylan, Bill McMahon, Tanner Ivy, Kyle McGrath. Also want to give a shout out to Shane Michelin, Going Crazy, Browns2220. Shout out to Fartley. Also want to give a shout out to Blaine Lyons, Billy Boogaloo. And last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my man, Armando Garcia. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Sunday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.